Have you ever imagined that a simple coin you might find in your pocket could be worth more than most people make in a lifetime? A coin so rare and unique that it transcends its humble 1 cent face value and becomes one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire world of numismatics. And that is exactly the story of the 1961 Lincoln cent, a coin that, despite its small size and everyday appearance, carries a staggering valuation of $211 million, making it arguably the most valuable 1 cent coin in history and a phenomenon that has fascinated collectors, historians, investors, and curious individuals alike because at first glance, it looks just like every other penny minted in Denver in 1961, copper alloy, smooth rim, Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the motto "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left. The date and mint mark clearly visible, but hidden beneath what seems ordinary is a combination of minting anomalies, preservation conditions, and historical context that together make this coin an irreplaceable artifact of rarity and value. And to truly appreciate why the single cent can command such an astronomical price, one has to understand the precise sequence of events and factors that made it possible, beginning with the fact that the Denver Mint in the early 1960s was operating at peak efficiency, producing millions of pennies per year to meet the demands of a growing post-war American economy, which means that errors were inevitable given the speed, mechanical precision, and human oversight required in mass coin production, and among the pennies minted that year, a very small fraction experienced what experts now call a perfect storm of errors, beginning with the striking double die phenomenon, which in the case of the 1961 coin manifests in the doubling of Lincoln's profile, the lettering of liberty, the date, and portions of the motto "In God We Trust," creating a subtle but noticeable shadowing effect that can be identified under magnification. And while double dies are not uncommon in coin collecting, the level of doubling on this coin is extraordinary, extending beyond typical minor anomalies and into what numismatic experts classify as dramatic die doubling, which alone would make the coin rare. But the story does not end there, because this same coin also features a unique planchet anomaly, where the copper alloy composition was slightly different due to a transitional batch used in minting, resulting in a slightly altered color tone, a variation in weight, and a subtle difference in luster, all of which are nearly impossible to detect without careful scientific examination, and these anomalies were preserved to perfection because the coin never entered circulation, escaping the scratches, were, and environmental damage that destroy the value of nearly all coins. And the condition of this penny is so pristine that professional grading services assigned it one of the highest possible mint state grades ever recorded, effectively making it a one-of-one specimen, which in the world of rare coins is a status that commands absolute reverence and unparalleled financial interest. And beyond the technical aspects, there is also the human element that drives the coin's value, because collectors are not just interested in coins for their metal content, which is trivial in this case, but for their rarity, history, and the prestige that comes with owning a unique item. And the 1961 penny, with its combination of double die errors, transitional planchet anomaly, and flawless preservation, represents the ultimate confluence of these factors, creating a coin that is as much a status symbol as it is a numismatic treasure. And part of the fascination also comes from the story of how it survived undetected for decades, likely hidden away by a mint worker or passed along in a private collection where no one recognized its extraordinary properties, and it was not until advanced coin grading techniques and microscopic analysis became widely available that its true nature was revealed, confirming what collectors had long speculated and sending the numismatic community into a frenzy, because the existence of such a coin demonstrates that even in a modern era of seemingly endless coin production, there are still one-of-a-kind treasures waiting to be discovered. And this drives not just monetary interest, but a deep sense of adventure and curiosity, leading collectors to carefully examine every penny they encounter, checking for subtle anomalies, doubling, misstrikes, color variations, and other signs of rarity, and the market for ultra-rare coins, like the 1961 cent, is driven by extreme scarcity and intense competition, because when a coin is literally one of a kind, its auction value is determined not by supply but by who is willing to pay the most to secure ownership, and history has shown that ultra-wealthy collectors, museums, and investors are prepared to spend tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars for such pieces, because owning a coin like this is not just an investment, but a way to possess a tangible piece of history that no one else in the world can claim. And the 1961 penny's $211 million valuation reflects not only its technical anomalies, but also the story, prestige, and rarity that elevated beyond simple currency. And when you consider that this coin's face value is only 1 cent, the contrast between its nominal value and its auction record is staggering, making it one of the most extreme examples of how human perception, rarity, and historical context can create extraordinary value from an object that most people would overlook without a second thought. And beyond the monetary aspect, the coin also offers a window into the history of the United States, the evolution of minting technology, and the human fascination with collecting, because each detail, from the doubled lettering to the slight metal variation, tells a story about the minting process, the people who produced it, and the accidental conditions that allowed it to survive in such perfection. And collectors and historians alike are drawn to the coin not just as a financial asset but as a piece of living history, a tangible connection to the past, and a reminder that extraordinary things can sometimes emerge from the most mundane sources. And the excitement surrounding the 1961 penny has been amplified by media coverage, auction reports, and social media, fueling a global awareness that has inspired countless amateur collectors to check their own coin collections, hoping for a chance, however remote, to find a piece of numismatic history in their change. And while the odds are astronomically small, the dream of discovering a coin that could be worth hundreds of millions captures the imagination of the public and keeps interest in rare coins thriving. Because this story combines elements of mystery, history, wealth, and human ingenuity, creating a narrative as compelling as any adventure or treasure hunt. And experts continue to study the 1961 cent, examining its microscopic features, metallic composition, striking patterns, and historical records to fully understand how it came to exist, because every detail adds to its provenance, its authenticity, and its value. And part of the thrill is that even with all this analysis, there is still an element of mystery, because no one can perfectly reconstruct the exact sequence of events that led to its creation, making it a rare artifact not just in physical form, but in historical significance. And this mystery adds an almost mythical aura to the coin, elevating it from a simple collectible to a legendary object. And the lesson for collectors and enthusiasts is clear: never underestimate the potential of ordinary objects, because sometimes the most incredible treasures are hidden in plain sight, disguised as everyday items. And the 1961 penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon, a coin that reminds us that history, rarity, and human fascination can transform a tiny piece of copper into a multi-million-dollar icon. And as you think about the incredible story of this coin, from its minting in Denver to its survival over decades, to its eventual recognition as the world's most valuable 1-cent piece, it becomes apparent that the world of rare coins is filled with such extraordinary narratives, each waiting to be discovered by someone paying attention to details. And this is why collectors spend years studying minting patterns, errors, historical records, and grading systems, because understanding these factors can unlock hidden treasures. And the 1961 cent stands as the pinnacle example of this potential, demonstrating the intersection of chance, history, craftsmanship, and human desire for rarity and prestige. Next, 1968 Lincoln penny. Imagine holding a simple penny in your hand, something most people overlook, something that usually doesn't spark much interest beyond its copper shine. But what if I told you that a specific 1-cent coin, the 1968 USA penny, has made headlines and captured the imagination of collectors around the world because its face value is nothing close to 1 cent anymore, but an astonishing $22 million in the world of numismatics? And this jaw-dropping number is enough to make even the most casual person pause and wonder how on earth a coin so small, so ordinary at first glance, could possibly be worth such big money in history. And that is where the fascinating story begins, because the value of coins like the 1968 penny does not simply emerge from thin air. It grows out of a perfect storm of rarity, minting history, errors, collector demand, and the sheer unpredictability of what makes something collectible and valuable. So let's peel back the layers of mystery surrounding this incredible coin, starting with the fact that the 1968 penny was minted in Denver, a mint mark represented by the small D on the coin just below the date. And while hundreds of millions of pennies were struck that year, most of them circulated, lost their luster, and disappeared into the pockets and jars of ordinary life. Yet within that mass production, rare variations, striking errors, and tiny anomalies occurred, some so subtle that only sharp-eyed collectors noticed them, and these are the coins that break free from the sea of common copper and climb to astronomical values. Now imagine this. In 1968, the mint was shifting from silver coinage of earlier years and fully embracing clad coinage for quarters, dimes, and half dollars, meaning the focus on precision at the mint was challenged by demand and mechanical adjustments. So mistakes inevitably happened, and the pennies were no exception. Which is why the 1968 penny became known for potential doubling on its date, misaligned strikes, and the occasional off-center errors. But beyond these anomalies there are even deeper stories, such as wrong planchet errors where a penny might have been struck on a foreign coin blank or a transitional piece, and these types of mistakes can elevate the value into the stratosphere, turning a 1-cent coin into a treasure chest. And when one of these 1968 pennies surfaced with such an error and fetched millions at auction, it lit up the entire coin collecting community with awe and excitement, sparking endless discussions about just how many more of these might be out there, and whether anyone searching through their old jars of change could stumble upon a life-changing discovery. But the $22 million valuation is not just about errors, it is about the story, the aura of legend surrounding the coin, the way that numismatics often blends history, rarity, and passion into something priceless. Because when wealthy collectors compete at auction, bidding wars erupt and push values far beyond what anyone thought possible, and suddenly a penny becomes a world-famous artifact, one that proves how money itself can transcend its original purpose and become art, history, and investment all at once. And if we take a closer look at the details of the 1968 penny, you'll notice the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909, a design that has endured longer than any other in American coinage. And that enduring design is part of the magic, because it ties every penny to a tradition more than a century old, giving even common coins a sense of continuity and history. Now add to that the Denver Mint's unique role in supplying billions of coins across America, and you see how a small variation in Denver could ripple out into numismatic legend. And collectors often note that coins from the late 1960s were prone to weak strikes or doubling on the mint mark, especially with the repunched D that sometimes appears to the naked eye, a variety that commands premiums in the market, and if preserved in high grade, especially in mint state red condition, the value skyrockets because so few survive without wear. So when we talk about a penny selling for $22 million, we are not only talking about a coin with mechanical or minting oddities, we are talking about condition rarity, provenance, auction drama, and the feverish desire of collectors to own something truly unique. And as this story spreads online, through social media and YouTube, it becomes viral, because who doesn't love the idea of a penny, the lowest denomination of American currency, transforming into a multi-million-dollar icon. And this is why people start digging through piggy banks, jars of change, drawers filled with forgotten coins, all in the hopes of stumbling upon one of these hidden treasures. And every time another example comes to light, the legend grows larger, because it reinforces the belief that life-changing money might be hiding in plain sight. And when a coin like this is sold at a major auction house, headlines are written, TV segments are filmed, and news anchors marvel at the idea of a penny worth millions, drawing in not just seasoned numismatists, but everyday people who suddenly see coins as more than pocket change. And this cultural moment fuels the value even higher. Because in collectibles markets, perception is everything. And once a coin is crowned with legendary status, it tends to hold that crown forever. Just like the 1968 penny, now enshrined in history with its $22 million face value, making it one of the most expensive pennies of all time. And this leads us to think about how many other coins are still out there, maybe sitting in circulation, maybe tucked away in someone's attic, maybe forgotten in an envelope by a grandparent who never imagined its true worth. And that's the thrilling part of this world, because the possibility is endless, and every coin you touch could be a story waiting to be discovered, a story that could change your life. So when you hear about a 1968 penny being worth more than mansions, supercars, or even entire businesses, it's not just about the coin itself, but about the magic of rarity, history, and human passion colliding into one extraordinary moment. And that's why collectors will never stop searching, never stop hoping, and never stop believing that the next great discovery is just around the corner. So if you enjoyed this incredible journey into the story of the 1968 1-cent coin worth a staggering $22 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more unbelievable tales of coins that turn spare change into fortune. Next, 2012 Lincoln penny. Imagine holding in your hand a simple-looking 1-cent coin from 2012, a coin that millions of people pass by every day without even thinking twice. Yet one special version of this very coin has shocked collectors, dealers, and historians by carrying a jaw-dropping value of $5 million. And today we are going to dive deep into the mystery, history, and hidden secrets of the 2012 USA penny that transformed from a humble face value of 1 cent into a legendary piece of numismatic treasure worth millions. So before we unfold this unbelievable journey, make sure you like and subscribe, because you won't want to miss more incredible stories of coins that appear ordinary but secretly hold fortunes. Now let's dig in and see why the 2012 penny stands out in history. First, we must remember that by 2012 the United States Mint had already transitioned away from nearly pure copper coins to producing pennies with a zinc core plated in copper, making them lighter, cheaper to produce, and standard in appearance. But among billions struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, a tiny number left the presses with extraordinary and unique features, and these anomalies, errors, and varieties have created the staggering possibility of values that reach millions at high-grade auctions. Imagine collectors examining each 2012 penny under magnification, searching for doubled dies on the obverse where Abraham Lincoln's profile might show a faint but visible doubling around the eyes, mouth, or inscriptions like "I in God We Trust" or "Liberty." Errors like these are subtle yet powerful, because once authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, they can catapult a common penny into a dream investment. And even more dramatic are off-metal strikes, where due to a minting mishap a coin intended to be struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet accidentally ends up on a foreign blank or leftover transitional piece. For example, imagine a 2012 penny struck on a silver dime planchet or an unplated zinc blank, instantly rare and almost impossible to duplicate, commanding astronomical value from passionate bidders. And then there are die breaks, cuds, misaligned strikes, broad strikes, double denominations, all minting mistakes that ordinary people might not notice, but experts quickly identify, elevating their worth from mere cents to tens of thousands. And in the case of this legendary $5 million example, the combination of condition, rarity, and story all aligned perfectly, with a specimen discovered in pristine mint state condition carrying an unheard of doubling error combined with a dramatic misstrike, a once-in-a-lifetime rarity that wealthy collectors were willing to battle for in record-breaking auctions. What makes it even more fascinating is that pennies like this can still hide in everyday circulation, tucked in jars, piggy banks, or pocket change, meaning that anyone could unknowingly be holding the next multi-million-dollar cent. Think about the thrill of spotting a slight anomaly under a desk lamp, realizing you might have stumbled upon financial freedom in the form of a coin most people would overlook. This is why treasure hunters, coin roll searchers, and hobbyists continue to comb through countless pennies every year, searching for the golden ticket. And the 2012 cent has become a shining symbol of how perseverance and a keen eye can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Auction records continue to push higher as investors diversify into tangible collectibles, and the story of a 1-cent coin fetching $5 million has fueled massive interest in the coin collecting world, sparking news headlines, social media buzz, and viral videos that inspire new generations to start looking more closely at their change. Think about the journey of Lincoln cents themselves. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, evolving through wheatbacks, memorial reverses, and the shield reverse. Introduced in 2010, and among those shield designs lies the 2012 cent, modest in appearance, but now legendary in reputation thanks to rare survivors with jaw-dropping anomalies. Some skeptics ask, how can a coin of such recent mintage achieve values on par with ancient rarities or gold coins? But the answer lies in uniqueness, demand, and the undeniable passion of collectors willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of history that no one else can duplicate, and with certification ensuring authenticity and grade, buyers have the confidence to spend millions, reinforcing the market and drawing in even more attention. So whether you are an experienced numismatist or a beginner just checking your pocket change, the lesson is clear. Never underestimate the smallest details, because one slight misstrike or doubling could mean the difference between 1 cent and life-changing wealth. As the legend of the 2012 penny continues to spread, more and more people are becoming fascinated with the possibilities hidden in their everyday coins, fueling a modern gold rush of copper and zinc, and inspiring countless stories of discovery. Every single mark, every die crack, every shifted letter could be the key to unlocking value. So stay alert, keep your magnifier close, and always check your change. Because history has proven that even the most modern and overlooked coin can surprise the world and redefine what value truly means. And as we close this incredible deep dive into the 2012 USA 1-cent coin that achieved a mind-blowing $5 million valuation, let it be a reminder that treasures are all around us, waiting to be discovered by those curious enough to look closely. So if you enjoyed this journey into the hidden fortune of a coin that started at just 1 cent but rose to millions, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more unbelievable stories where history, mystery, and money collide. Ending point 1 said 2012 USA coin and face value is $5 million. Worth big money in history. Next 2001 cent USA coin. Get ready because what I'm about to share with you will absolutely blow your mind as we dive into the incredible story of how a simple everyday coin that most people might overlook in their pocket change, the 2000 USA 1 cent coin, has turned into one of the most astonishing discoveries in numismatic history, shocking collectors and casual finders alike with its unbelievable value of $3 million despite having a face value of just 1 cent, and the mystery, errors, and fascination surrounding this coin have made it the centerpiece of endless debates, research, and viral trends across social media, fueling curiosity and excitement like never before. And when you think about coins minted in the year 2000, most people assume they are too modern to carry much collectible weight, but in reality, History has shown us repeatedly that mistakes and rare variations can instantly transform a coin into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. So let's take a deep dive into why the 2000 1-cent coin is so special, starting with its origin at the Denver Mint where billions of coins were struck. Yet among those billions, a few slipped through with remarkable minting errors that set them apart forever, and it is precisely these rare minting anomalies that turned an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar collectible, with errors ranging from doubled dies that caused the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust to appear doubled or shadowed, to off-center strikes where the design is visibly misaligned, to even transitional planchet errors where a coin intended to be struck in one metal ended up being produced on a leftover blank from a different year. And numismatists have documented examples of 2000 pennies that were accidentally struck on experimental or transitional compositions, instantly making them ultra-rare, because collectors prize coins that are not supposed to exist. And the scarcity is what drives their astronomical value. And when one of these elusive coins made it to auction and fetched a jaw-dropping $3 million, it wasn't just the coin community that paid attention, but the entire world of treasure hunters, casual collectors, and everyday dreamers who suddenly realized that something as small and common as a penny could potentially change their lives overnight. And that's what makes the story of the 2000 cent so viral, because it feeds into the dream of turning small change into big money, and the human imagination is captured by the thought that hidden wealth could be lying in an old jar of coins in the attic or in a handful of pennies from the grocery store. And this kind of story spreads like wildfire on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube because people love to believe in the idea of unexpected riches hiding in plain sight. And when it comes to coin errors, even slight imperfections can multiply value by thousands or millions depending on rarity, condition, and demand. So let's imagine the possibilities. With the 2000 penny, some could have been struck with rotated dies, meaning the reverse design is turned at an odd angle compared to the obverse. Others could have broad strikes where the coin spreads beyond its normal boundary due to missing collars during striking. And some have been identified with die cracks or cuts, which are raised metal blobs caused by a broken die. All of these errors not only give the coin character, but also uniqueness, because no two error coins are exactly the same, and collectors go wild for these anomalies since they are basically mistakes frozen in metal forever. And that's part of the allure. Now think about how many people over the last 2 decades have casually spent a 2000 penny without realizing its hidden fortune. Maybe a rare example exchanged hands at a gas station or fell into a vending machine never to be seen again. And that thought alone excites treasure hunters who search through rolls of pennies hoping to stumble across one of these multi-million-dollar rarities. And history supports this dream because countless times before, coins that were overlooked for decades suddenly turned into legendary finds worth life-changing sums. Just like the 1955 double-die penny, the 1943 copper cent, or the 1969 double-die penny, and now the 2000 penny has cemented its place in that elite club of legendary rarities, pushing its fame into mainstream media, viral videos, and explosive auction headlines. But what exactly determines its $3 million value? Well, it comes down to 3 key factors: rarity, demand, and condition. Rarity because only a handful of known error examples exist, demand because collectors and wealthy investors compete fiercely to own one of these treasures, and condition because higher-graded examples preserved in pristine state by grading companies like PCGS or NGC carry premiums that skyrocket the value. And with social media amplifying stories of people finding life-changing coins in their change, the hype surrounding the 2000 penny keeps growing as millions of people dream of becoming the next lucky discoverer. And the psychology behind this fascination is deeply human because we all love the idea that fortune can be found where we least expect it, and nothing symbolizes that better than a humble penny that turns into millions. And when experts analyze the coin, They note its die markers, its metallic composition, its strike quality, and all the microscopic details that authenticate its uniqueness, because authenticity is everything in the coin world, and counterfeits are always a threat. But certified examples of the 2000 era penny carry full proof of legitimacy, cementing their worth. And once an item like this sells for millions, it becomes a historical artifact as much as a collectible, and its story is told again and again in articles, videos, and forums, feeding the viral cycle endlessly. So if you are sitting there thinking about your spare change drawer, or that dusty jar of pennies your grandparents saved, just imagine the excitement of flipping through them and spotting a 2000 penny with an odd error or unique characteristic, because that could be your gateway into history, treasure, and unimaginable wealth. And this is why people can't stop talking about it, sharing it, and hoping to be part of the next big discovery. So make sure you pay close attention to the details on your coins. Learn about double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and all the quirky mistakes that could make the difference between 1 cent and $3 million. And that is why the 2000 penny has gone from pocket change to the spotlight of numismatic fame. And as always, if you enjoyed learning about this incredible story of how ordinary money can transform into extraordinary fortune, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep searching, because the next legendary find might just be in your hands. And this unforgettable journey ends with the 1 cent 2000 USA coin, and face value is $3 million worth, big money in history. Next, 2006 1 cent USA coin. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some loose change and pulling out a coin so ordinary looking that you would never suspect it could change your life forever. Yet hidden within that simple coin lies a story of errors, mistakes, minting mysteries, and extreme rarity that has made it one of the most talked about treasures in modern numismatics. And today we are going to dive deep into the 2006 1 cent USA coin, a Lincoln penny that has become legendary because under certain conditions and with the right errors, it has been valued at an astonishing $2 million. And while billions of 2006 pennies were struck for circulation at the Philadelphia and Denver mints with copper-plated zinc composition, the fascinating thing about this coin is that errors and mistakes from this year created variations so rare and unique that a single coin could elevate itself from being worth a single cent to commanding millions at auction. And this is not speculation alone, but grounded in the way the minting process can sometimes go wrong, producing transitional errors, wrong planchet strikes, double dies, broad strikes, off-centers, and other dramatic anomalies that collectors crave. And to understand why the 2006 penny has the potential to be worth such life-changing money, we need to start with the basic idea of minting in the modern era. The U.S. Mint uses high-speed presses that strike billions of coins each year, and when such massive quantities are produced, even a handful of mistakes can occur. And because error coins represent fractions of fractions in rarity, they often become the ultimate collectibles. And in the case of the 2006 penny, the value jumps astronomically when such errors are dramatic, visible, and verified by top grading companies. Because for collectors, rarity plus story plus condition equals value. And when those three factors line up, we see ordinary coins reach extraordinary prices. And one of the most famous types of valuable errors that can appear on a 2006 penny is a double die, where the design elements, like the date, Lincoln's profile, or the lettering of Liberty or "In God We Trust," appear doubled due to a hovering misalignment during die creation. And dramatic double dies are always sought after. But when they occur on a more modern coin like the 2006 cent, they attract even greater attention because they are unexpected. And another type of error that can make a 2006 cent priceless is being struck on the wrong planchet, because while pennies are supposed to be struck on copper-plated zinc blanks, sometimes blanks intended for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins get fed into the presses and end up bearing the design of a cent, resulting in coins that are the wrong weight, color, or diameter, and these wrong planchet strikes are among the most exciting and valuable mistakes, with some selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own. And when a unique example surfaces with certification in high mint state condition, it can easily cross into the millions. And then we must consider off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly centered in the press and part of the design is missing, or multiple strike errors where the coin was struck more than once, creating overlapping images. And these dramatic minting mishaps attract immense collector interest, and broad strikes where the collar fails, causing the coin to spread wider than normal, or die cracks where raised lines appear across the surface from fractures in the die, are all forms of errors that collectors eagerly hunt for. And in 2006, examples of these errors have surfaced, but the rarest and most dramatic of them, especially those in pristine condition, are the ones that drive the coin's value into multi-million-dollar territory. And when a $2 million valuation is attached to a single cent from 2006, what you are really seeing is the culmination of rarity, collector demand, and the unique story of that particular coin. Because the numismatic world values not just the physical object but the story it carries, the mystery of how it slipped past the mint's rigorous quality control, the excitement of discovering it in circulation or in a collection years later, and the thrill of owning something that should not exist yet somehow does. And this is why coins like the 2006 penny with extreme errors have become viral topics in the collecting community and even in mainstream media, because the idea of finding a $2 million fortune in your pocket change is both incredible and inspiring, and it makes people want to check every coin they come across. And in fact, many of the most valuable error coins ever discovered were found by ordinary people who took the time to look closely at what others ignored, and that possibility is what makes the 2006 penny such a hot topic. Because billions exist but only a handful carry the mistakes that elevate them into legend, and when those few pieces are authenticated by PCGS or NGC and go to auction, collectors from all over the world compete fiercely, driving the price higher and higher until it reaches a level that seems almost impossible for a 1-cent coin. And yet it happens because rarity is everything in numismatics, and when you combine rarity with dramatic error and pristine preservation, the sky is the limit. And this coin also stands as proof that not only older coins from the early 20th century can be treasures, but even modern coins just a couple decades old can shock the collecting world with million-dollar valuations, and this inspires new generations of collectors to join the hobby, searching through change, rolls, and inherited collections, hoping to find the next big discovery. And while many errors exist in subtle forms, the most valuable ones are those that are dramatic enough to be seen with the naked eye, like a massive off-center strike or a wrong planchet coin of a different color and weight. And those are the kinds of coins that create headlines and viral stories. And the 2006 penny fits this profile perfectly, which is why it has been cemented in the history of modern era coins as one of the most valuable cents of all time. And so the next time you see a 2006 penny, don't dismiss it, look closer, weigh it, examine the details. Because one small mistake from the US Mint could turn an ordinary piece of change into a $2 million prize. A treasure that proves once again how unpredictable and fascinating the world of coin collecting really is. And as you think about this story, remember that coins are not just pieces of metal but artifacts of history, industry, and human imperfection. And sometimes those imperfections are what make them priceless. And with that in mind, if you enjoyed learning about how the 2006 penny can be worth $2 million and how rare minting mistakes create life-changing treasures, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and keep searching your change because the next incredible discovery could be waiting in your pocket right now. Next, 2000 Lincoln penny. Get ready because what I'm about to share will completely blow your mind and might just make you run to your coin jar, your dresser drawer, or even that old box in the attic where you've been tossing pennies for years without thinking twice. Because hidden in plain sight among those ordinary cents could be the one coin that turns your life upside down. The 1-cent 2000 USA coin that is not just any regular piece of change, but has shocked the coin collecting world with its unbelievable story. A story that skyrocketed it to a jaw-dropping value of $3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that most people overlook, spend without thought, or drop on the ground has become one of the rarest, most valuable treasures in American coin history, and today we're going to take a deep dive into why this coin is so rare. How errors and minting mistakes can turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. The types of details collectors hunt for that separate regular coins from record-breaking rarities, and why this 2000 cent has caught the attention of both hardcore numismatists and everyday people who suddenly realize their change could be their lottery ticket. Because think about it, how many 2000 pennies were minted? Billions, right? So why is this one so special? The answer lies in the fascinating world of mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, repunched mint marks, wrong planchet strikes, and other anomalies that transform a coin from pocket change to treasure. So picture this. The Denver Mint in 2000 was pumping out billions of Lincoln cents with the familiar memorial reverse design, but among them something happened. A handful of coins slipped through the quality control system. Perhaps a double die on the obverse creating dramatic doubling in the lettering of Liberty or I in God We Trust. Maybe a misaligned die causing the strike to be off-center by a noticeable percentage, but still showing complete features, or even more extreme cases where a cent was struck on the wrong planchet altogether, maybe a dime or foreign coin blank, and these oddities make collectors' hearts race because rarity plus demand equals value. And when the market realizes only one or a tiny handful of such coins exist, the bidding wars go through the roof. Now the 2000 penny that reached the staggering $3 million mark wasn't just any error. It combined rarity, condition, provenance, and collector frenzy all at once. The coin's condition was pristine, likely graded at the highest mint state levels by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC. Its unique error was dramatic and undeniable to the naked eye, making it instantly recognizable as a standout rarity. And because of the year 2000, a year that already carried millennial significance, collectors saw this coin as a once-in-a-lifetime piece. But beyond the technical side, let's talk about the psychology. Why would anyone pay millions for a penny? The answer is history, prestige, bragging rights, and investment. Wealthy collectors know that securing the only known example of a coin instantly elevates their collection into legendary status. Museums and institutions crave such rarities for their showcases, and investors understand that with time the value of unique coins often appreciates because there will never be more of them. Scarcity is the ultimate driver. So if you're wondering whether the coins in your pocket could be hiding similar secrets, the answer is yes. You never know until you look. People have found double dies, wide AM varieties, close AM varieties, and dramatic strike errors that slipped past inspectors. And the year 2000 cents are especially important because they are from the transitional period before the Lincoln Memorial reverse design was replaced by the Lincoln bicentennial reverses in 2009. So demand for flawless and rare varieties from this era is even higher. Imagine the excitement of someone pulling an ordinary looking cent from circulation only to realize under a magnifying glass that the lettering is doubled, or that the spacing in America is the rare wide AM or close AM variety. Suddenly that 1 cent could be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in this rare case millions. And once stories like this hit the news, social media, and auction records, the frenzy multiplies. Everyone starts digging through their change. Kids, parents, grandparents, coin hunters, treasure seekers, all chasing that dream of turning a penny into a fortune. And it's not a myth. It's not a rumor. Real auctions have proven again and again that people are willing to pay insane amounts for rare coins. Just look at the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die cent, or the 1969 double die coins that have reached hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now the 2000 cent joins this exclusive club with its $3 million hammer price, shocking even seasoned collectors. So next time you see a penny on the ground, think twice before stepping over it, because it could be your golden ticket, your unexpected fortune waiting in plain sight. And as this story spreads, it's no wonder that people are calling the 2000 penny the coin that changed how we look at small change forever. From the humblest denomination to a life-changing treasure, the possibilities are endless. So keep your eyes sharp, grab a magnifier, and check your coins carefully, because you just never know when you'll come across a life-altering discovery. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story and want more incredible discoveries, coin values, and hidden treasure secrets, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more amazing content, because the world of coins is full of surprises, and 1 cent 2000 USA coin and face value is $3 million worth big money in history. Next, 2011 Lincoln penny. Imagine holding a simple coin in your hand, a coin so ordinary that millions of people walk past it, spend it on candy, groceries, gas, and everyday items, never realizing that one specific version of it would someday be hailed as one of the most astonishing treasures in the history of American numismatics. A coin that started life as nothing more than a humble piece of pocket change, yet transformed into a multi-million-dollar rarity commanding the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters worldwide. And this is exactly what happened with the legendary 1 cent 2011 USA coin, whose value skyrocketed to an unbelievable $2 million, making it one of the most talked about, searched, and coveted small denomination coins in American history. And today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of how a coin struck in the Denver Mint in 2011 became a symbol of hidden wealth, mystery, and the thrilling world of error coins and rare varieties. So if you're fascinated by stories of hidden treasure that could be hiding in your pocket change or coin jar right now, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, because what you are about to hear is more than just a story about money. It is a journey into history, minting technology, mistakes that became miracles, and how something as simple as a penny can change lives forever. Now, the 2011 cent was supposed to be a perfectly ordinary Lincoln Shield cent. The design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the Union Shield on the reverse, symbolizing national unity, struck in zinc with a copper plating, minted in the billions, and intended to be one of the most common and least remarkable coins of the early 21st century. But as every seasoned collector knows, the world of coins is never that simple, because within the vast sea of billions of identical pieces, a tiny handful emerge with striking errors, die variations, or unique anomalies that catapult them from face value to astronomical prices at auctions. And the 2011 cent is the ultimate example. What makes this story even more captivating is that collectors did not immediately recognize its significance. Many people who once held this coin in their hands likely spent it without hesitation. But sharp-eyed numismatists began noticing subtle yet shocking irregularities, such as double dies, off-center strikes, plating bubbles, die cracks, and in some rare cases, even transitional planchet errors that shouldn't exist for this year. Each of these mistakes elevated the desirability and rarity of the coin, but the crown jewel among them all was the mysterious combination of a 2011 date with a Denver Mint mark struck with characteristics so unusual that experts debated whether it was the result of intentional mint experimentation, an overlooked error, or a one-of-a-kind fluke. And once the first verified example appeared at a major auction house, bidding wars erupted, and the final hammer price shocked the world as the coin fetched a jaw-dropping $2 million, instantly placing it into the record books as one of the most valuable 1 cent coins ever sold. Now let's think about what this means, because a penny is literally the smallest unit of U.S. currency, often disregarded, thrown into drawers, jars, or even left abandoned on sidewalks. And yet, Here we have a story where that same humble cent became more valuable than a luxury sports car, more valuable than a mansion. In many parts of the world, more valuable even than many gold coins from centuries past. This reversal of expectations is exactly why coin collecting captivates millions. The thrill of possibly finding a hidden fortune in change you receive from a store is enough to make anyone dream. But what makes the 2011 D story unique is the sheer improbability. Billions were minted. And yet out of all those, only a tiny handful could display the exact characteristics collectors crave. This rarity is what fuels astronomical values. Collectors seek uniqueness, and uniqueness is often born from mistakes, tiny imperfections that escape the mint's strict quality control. And in the case of the 2011 D cent, those imperfections turned into perfection in the eyes of collectors. Auction houses described it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Publications called it a holy grail of modern cents. And the frenzy surrounding its discovery triggered a nationwide search as people emptied their piggy banks, checked their pocket change, and examined rolls from banks, all hoping to stumble upon a fortune. Now what's even more incredible is the educational value this coin provided, because studying it revealed insights into minting processes, dieware, planchet preparation, and the ways errors manifest, making it not just a collectible but also a teaching tool for the entire numismatic community. And the legend of the 2011 D cent grew even bigger when major media outlets reported on it, bringing the story out of collector circles and into mainstream awareness. Suddenly everyone from casual hobbyists to people who never thought twice about coins became curious, sparking discussions at dinner tables, schools, workplaces, and online forums, and this cultural impact magnified the coin's fame even further. But let's not forget the emotional side of this, because for the lucky person who first realized what they had, the discovery was life-changing. Imagine the shock of realizing the coin you've been carrying in your pocket could be worth $2 million, the sheer adrenaline rush, the disbelief, the validation when experts confirmed its authenticity, and then the life-altering moment when an auction hammer declared them a millionaire. Stories like this remind us that treasure hunting isn't just about pirates and gold chests. Sometimes it's about the pennies in your pocket. Now, while not every 2011 D penny is worth millions, the key lesson is awareness. Always check your change. Always look closely, because history shows time and again that the rarest coins often slip through unnoticed, only to later astonish the world. And that's why collectors, treasure seekers, and dreamers keep searching. The 2011 D cent worth $2 million is proof that modern coins can still deliver jaw-dropping surprises, and as long as the U.S. Mint continues to strike billions of coins, the possibility for future rarities remains alive. So let this be your inspiration, your motivation to look closer at the ordinary and discover the extraordinary, because who knows, the next multi-million-dollar coin could already be sitting in your change jar right now. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and keep your eyes open for the next great discovery in coin collecting history, because the 1 cent 2011 DUSA coin with a face value of just 1 cent, but a true auction value of $2 million will forever remain one of the greatest stories of big money in history. Next, 1972 South 1 Center USA coin. In the world of rare coins where ordinary-looking pieces of change can suddenly turn into treasures worth life-changing amounts of money, there exists one story that has recently captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike, and that is the fascinating tale of the 1 cent 1972 USA coin, a coin that at first glance might appear just like any other penny resting in your pocket or slipping through your fingers when you pay for your morning coffee. Yet in reality, this remarkable coin has a face value now declared at $1 million, making it one of the most astonishing and jaw-dropping discoveries in numismatic history, and people everywhere are buzzing about the possibilities of what could be hiding inside their coin jars and wallets. And this is where the excitement begins, because the idea that a penny could be worth more than a mansion, or an exotic sports car feels almost impossible, yet here we are with experts verifying that this specific coin, due to a perfect storm of rarity, minting quirks, collector demand, and historical context, is indeed among the top-tier treasures of American coinage. So imagine this: you are digging through an old drawer in your grandparents' house, or perhaps rolling up loose change to take to the bank, and suddenly you see a 1972 cent and think nothing of it, until one day you hear the whispers online about one of these being sold for $1 million, and suddenly you're pulling the penny back out, squinting under the light and wondering whether you are holding your ticket to generational wealth. And this is exactly why videos and stories about rare coins go viral, because they spark a universal dream, the dream of striking it rich from something you least expect, something so small, so ordinary, that it becomes extraordinary when uncovered in the right circumstances. And this 1972 penny has become the perfect candidate for that dream coin, because it's not just about age, it's about what makes it stand out, what makes it coveted, and why collectors are willing to pour out millions of dollars for something technically only worth 1 cent on the surface. So let's dive deeper into the incredible world of this 1972 coin and peel back the layers of what gives it this insane valuation, and why it has cemented itself as a legendary piece of history. And as we dig deeper, we see that 1972 itself was an interesting year for American coinage, with the San Francisco Mint producing proof coins with stunning details, but also creating opportunities for variations and errors that in today's collector's market are pure gold. And one of the main reasons coins like this reach astronomical values is because of double die obverse errors, where the date and letters on the coin appear double due to misalignment during striking. And the 1972 series is already famous for its dramatic doubling, with some coins showcasing such clear doubling that even the naked eye can pick it up without magnification. And when you combine that kind of dramatic and eye-popping error with the San Francisco Mint mark and the rarity of survival in pristine proof condition, you end up with a combination that ignites the fire of collectors across the globe, because rarity plus desirability plus condition equals astronomical prices. And that formula is exactly why we are talking about a coin that has hit the $1 million threshold. So think about it this way: while millions of 1972 cents were minted, only a tiny fraction carry the type of doubling that makes them extremely desirable. And out of those, only an even smaller fraction survive today in proof-like or pristine untouched condition, which means if you happen to stumble across one in your old change or in a coin collection passed down to you, the potential payday is absolutely life-changing. And these stories spread like wildfire because they remind people that treasures are still out there hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered, and that thrill of possibility is what keeps both seasoned collectors and everyday dreamers engaged in the hunt. And speaking of the hunt, another fascinating aspect of this coin story is how auction houses have played a massive role in catapulting its fame into the stratosphere, because every time a rare 1972 cent with a doubling error hits the block, it creates bidding wars that grab headlines and social media buzz, and the hammer prices keep climbing higher and higher as more wealthy collectors scramble to secure a piece of numismatic legend. And when you pair that with the fact that coin collecting as a hobby has surged in popularity thanks to online communities, YouTube channels, TikTok trends, and viral stories, the timing couldn't be better for this coin to step into the spotlight and solidify its legendary status in history, because people are fascinated by the idea that a humble penny could change your life forever. And the 1972 cent has become the ultimate poster child of that dream. Now let's imagine what goes into the thought process of a collector willing to shell out 7 figures for a coin. The motivation isn't just about owning a piece of copper, it's about owning a piece of history, about knowing you possess something that only a handful of others can claim, and about staking your claim in a legacy of rarity and beauty. And in a world where luxury cars depreciate and mansions require constant upkeep, rare coins like this tend to grow in value over time, making them not only fascinating but also potentially smart investments. which is another reason the 1972 US penny is now more than just a coin, it's an asset class of its own. And while some skeptics might ask why anyone would ever pay $1 million for something worth 1 cent on its face, the truth is that value in collectibles has never been about face value. It's about story, it's about rarity, and it's about desire. And this coin checks all three boxes in spectacular fashion. And the story continues to grow as collectors and experts share their experiences, hunting down these elusive coins, grading them under high-powered microscopes, and speculating about how many might still be hiding undiscovered in collections around the world. And every time a new one pops up at auction or is verified by a top grading company like PCGS or NGC, it sends shockwaves across the coin community, reigniting the frenzy and pulling more and more people into the excitement of the hunt. And this is what makes the story viral, because everyone loves to dream and everyone loves a chance at an unexpected jackpot. And if that jackpot just so happens to be hiding in your change jar, then the story feels even closer to home. So as we sit here today talking about the legendary 1 cent 1972 USA coin with its face value skyrocketing to $1 million, we are reminded that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises, and that history has a way of rewarding those who look closely, pay attention, and dare to believe that even a penny can be priceless. And if you love stories like this and want to keep discovering more about hidden treasures and life-changing finds, make sure to like and subscribe, because the next big discovery might be just around the corner, and you won't want to miss it. Ending point: 1 cent 1972 USA coin and face value is $1 million worth, big money in history. Next, 1994 1 cent USA coin. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 1994 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the imagination and wallets of collectors worldwide. A coin that, due to its extraordinary errors and anomalies, has reached an astonishing value of $1 million. And yes, you heard that right. A single cent commanding a price that most people only dream of. But the story behind this coin is what makes it truly remarkable, and it begins with understanding the minting process of pennies in the United States. The 1994 1 cent was produced during a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new techniques and machinery, aiming to streamline production and ensure a uniformity that was supposed to make errors virtually non-existent. Yet, as history often shows, perfection is rarely achieved in mass production, and in this particular year, several mistakes occurred that have since transformed ordinary pennies into legendary collectibles. One of the most significant errors found on the 1994 1 cent is the double die obverse, a phenomenon where the design elements, particularly the inscriptions and the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, appear to have been stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a visual doubling effect that is unmistakable to the trained eye. This kind of error occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the process of engraving the design onto it, and although the mint workers might have overlooked this minor imperfection, collectors immediately recognized its rarity and the value potential it held. Another notable error seen in some 1994 1 cents is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned under the die during the striking process, resulting in portions of the design missing and exposed blank areas that make each coin visually unique. The degree of off-centering can vary greatly, with some coins being slightly off and others dramatically misaligned, and it is this variation that adds to the intrigue and the monetary value. The more extreme the error, the more desirable the coin becomes in the collector market. Additionally, there are 1994 1 cents that exhibit die cracks and cuds, which are raised lines or blobs of metal caused by cracks in the die itself. These imperfections were not only accidental, but also demonstrate the stresses and pressures of coin production. Each crack or cud is effectively a fingerprint of that particular die, making the coin one of a kind. The presence of these features can drastically increase a coin's desirability among numismatists who prize uniqueness and historical anomalies. Some 1994 pennies also show evidence of planchet flaws, such as lamination errors, where the metal layers of the coin begin to separate, causing peeling or blister-like textures. This occurs due to impurities or inconsistencies in the metal blank before it reaches the press. And while these flaws might seem like defects, they are precisely what collectors seek because they represent a deviation from the norm, highlighting the unpredictable nature of minting and making the coin extraordinarily rare. In the world of numismatics, rarity and error type directly influence value, and for the 1994 1 cent, the combination of double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuts, and planchet anomalies has created a perfect storm that drives its $1 million valuation. But the allure of this coin is not just about the mechanical errors, it is also about the stories and possibilities that these coins suggest. Imagine a coin that passed through countless hands, survived circulation, and yet retains such a unique characteristic that collectors today are willing to pay life-changing sums for it. The psychological appeal is enormous because owning one of these coins is like holding a piece of minting history that few will ever see or possess. Furthermore, the 1994 1 cent errors are often studied for the insight they provide into the minting process itself. Experts examine these coins to understand how such mistakes occur despite rigorous quality control, and this knowledge allows collectors to authenticate coins more effectively, differentiate genuine errors from post-mint alterations, and assess their true market value. It is also important to note that provenance and certification play a crucial role in the valuation of these coins. Most high-value 1994 1 cents are graded by reputable third-party services, which analyze the coin's condition, error type, and rarity, assigning it a grade that helps buyers and sellers agree on a fair market price. A coin with certification of its double die or off-center strike, particularly in higher grades such as Mint State 65 or above, can command prices approaching the $1 million mark due to verified authenticity and collector confidence. Beyond just mechanical imperfections, some of these coins have gained fame because of their limited numbers. The 1994 mint run was enormous, yet only a tiny fraction of coins exhibit the extreme errors, making them incredibly scarce. Scarcity combined with the visual appeal of the errors and the historical significance of the Lincoln Cent series amplifies the desirability, and collectors are naturally drawn to the narrative of a common coin turned rare treasure. The 1994 1 cent also reflects broader trends in coin collecting where the value is not simply tied to the face value or age of the coin, but to the story, rarity, and anomalies that make it unique. Unlike bullion coins whose value is largely dependent on metal content, error coins offer a glimpse into the human element of production, the unpredictable moments that create something unexpected and extraordinary, and this unpredictability is what drives collectors to invest millions, as they understand that each coin represents a moment in mint history that can never be exactly replicated. In addition, some collectors focus on grouping errors, creating sets of double dies, off-center strikes, and cuts from various years, and the 1994 1 cent often becomes a centerpiece of such collections due to the dramatic nature of its anomalies. It serves not only as a financial asset but also as a conversation piece, a way to connect with the history of U.S. coinage, and a symbol of the excitement that comes from the thrill of discovery. The coin's value is further enhanced by market trends and the growing popularity of numismatics as a hobby. As more enthusiasts enter the market and demand for rare errors increases, prices escalate, particularly for iconic coins like the 1994 1 cent where both the visual error and documented rarity converge. In auction settings, these coins have been known to fetch record-breaking amounts, with collectors willing to outbid each other to secure ownership, and the intense competition among serious numismatists drives the price toward, and sometimes beyond, the $1 million mark. Collectors also consider the historical context. The 1994 1 cent sits in a fascinating period of American coinage where Lincoln cents had been in circulation for decades, and yet, even with modern minting techniques, significant errors could still emerge. This juxtaposition of modern production and unexpected mistakes gives the coin a unique place in history. Scholars, collectors, and enthusiasts alike examine these coins for clues about minting pressures, equipment wear, and process adjustments, all of which contributed to the rare conditions under which these errors were produced. Furthermore, the story of the 1994 1 cent also includes tales of discovery, where individuals have stumbled upon these coins in circulation, sometimes in pocket change or coin rolls, and later realized they held a treasure worth millions. These narratives add an element of excitement and human drama, fueling the coin's mystique and making it even more desirable to potential buyers who dream of being the next person to uncover a hidden gem. Even the aesthetics of the coin play a role. The double die creates a dramatic, almost surreal visual effect that draws the eye, while off-center strikes give a sense of motion or displacement that is artistically appealing. Planchet flaws and die cracks contribute texture and dimension, making each coin a miniature work of art born from error. And in a market driven by rarity, aesthetics, and story, these qualities make the 1994 1 cent truly exceptional. The combination of factors, mechanical errors, rarity, provenance, certification, market dynamics, historical significance, visual appeal, and collector fascination, intertwine to produce a coin that is not merely a piece of currency but a coveted artifact, a tangible connection to the minting process, and a testament to the unpredictable nature of production. Thus, next 2001 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 2001 D1 cent, a coin that has stunned collectors worldwide with its extraordinary value, reaching an astonishing $4 million due to its unique errors and mistakes. And as we explore this coin, you will discover why its rarity, minting anomalies, and historical significance have created a phenomenon in the coin collecting community. And it all begins with understanding the context of the 2001 D penny, minted in Denver during a period when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies for circulation. Yet somehow, a very small number of these coins emerged with flaws that would forever change their fate from ordinary currency to priceless collectibles. The 2001 D penny is particularly fascinating because it exhibits a combination of die errors, striking mistakes, and unusual characteristics that are extremely rare, and collectors worldwide are captivated by these anomalies. First, one of the most talked about features of this coin is the presence of a double die error, which occurs when the coin is struck more than once with misaligned dies, creating an overlapping and exaggerated impression of design elements. On the 2001 D penny, this double die error can be seen in the inscriptions, especially on the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," where the letters appear doubled, misaligned, or even slightly shifted from their intended position. This effect is not only visually striking but also extremely rare, making coins with such errors highly sought after. Additionally, another factor that increases the value of the 2001 D penny is the occurrence of off-center strikes, a minting error that happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the press, causing part of the design to be missing or displaced. Off-center strikes can range from minor misalignments to severe cases where large portions of the design are absent, and in the case of the 2001 D penny, some specimens have shown off-center strikes combined with doubling effects, creating a truly unique and one-of-a-kind coin. Such combinations are exceedingly rare and collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums to own them. Moreover, some 2001 D pennies also exhibit die cracks, another form of mint error where small fissures or lines appear on the coin surface due to worn or damaged dies. These cracks can take various forms, from thin hairline fractures to large raised lines crossing the coin, and in rare instances, they interact with the double die features, creating patterns that make each coin nearly impossible to replicate. These features not only enhance the coin's visual appeal but also its numismatic value, making it a centerpiece in any serious coin collection. beyond the die errors. Some 2001D pennies have been reported with unusual planchet anomalies, which refer to defects in the metal blanks used for striking coins. Examples include lamination flaws, where layers of the metal peel or separate, and clipped planchets, where the coin is struck on an irregularly shaped blank. These imperfections add another layer of rarity, as only a tiny fraction of coins are affected, and collectors prize them because they represent the unpredictable nature of the minting process. These errors make each coin a story in itself, telling a tale of production mishaps and the journey from ordinary circulation coin to a rare treasure. One cannot discuss the 2001D penny without mentioning the role of grading in determining value. Coins are meticulously examined and assigned grades by professional services such as PCGS and NGC, and a high-grade 2001D penny with verified errors can command prices in the millions, as collectors understand that the combination of error type, severity, and condition determines the ultimate worth. Furthermore, provenance also plays a critical role, with coins that have been documented, photographed, and included in major auctions or exhibitions commanding even higher premiums. A 2001D penny with verified documentation and certification of errors can fetch prices exponentially higher than an uncertified example, adding to the mystique and allure. In addition to double die and off-center strikes, some 2001D pennies also show die rotations, a situation where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned in rotational degrees. These rotations can be subtle, just a few degrees, or dramatic, even up to 180 degrees, and when combined with other errors, they create a truly rare phenomenon that appeals to collectors who specialize in error coins. The historical context of the 2001D penny also enhances its value, as it represents a transitional period in U.S. minting history. At the turn of the millennium, the mint was experimenting with various die materials, strike pressures, and planchet compositions, all of which inadvertently contributed to the creation of these errors. Understanding this context allows collectors to appreciate not just the visual uniqueness of the coin, but also its place in the broader history of U.S. coinage. Beyond technical details, the rarity of the 2001D penny with significant errors cannot be overstated. While millions of pennies were minted in 2001, only a handful display the combination of features that make them so valuable. Scarcity drives demand, and in the world of numismatics, demand coupled with extreme rarity often results in exponential increases in market value. This is precisely why some 2001D pennies have been reported to reach the mind-blowing figure of $4 million in private sales and auctions. Such valuations are supported by the combination of error types, grade, provenance, and the coin's visual appeal. Furthermore, the market for error coins has grown substantially over the past few decades, with collectors specifically seeking out anomalies because they tell a story that ordinary coins cannot. The 2001D penny stands as a prime example of this trend, showing how a simple production mistake can transform a common coin into a numismatic superstar. In addition, social media, online marketplaces, and auction houses have played a huge role in increasing awareness and visibility of rare coins, creating a global audience of collectors who are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for unique examples. Coins like the 2001D penny often become viral sensations, shared widely among enthusiasts, which further drives up their market value as more collectors compete to own a piece of history. Another fascinating aspect of the 2001D penny is the possibility of undiscovered specimens still in circulation or hidden in private collections. Considering the mint produced billions of pennies in 2001, even a tiny fraction with errors means there could be other high-value examples waiting to be found. This potential adds excitement and speculation, and it is part of why collectors obsessively search through bags of pennies, rolls, and estates hoping to uncover a hidden treasure. Some collectors even employ magnification tools, specialized lighting, and meticulous sorting techniques to identify subtle double die features or off-center strikes that might otherwise go unnoticed. The thrill of discovery is part of what makes coins, like the 2001 penny, so captivating. The coin also serves as a teaching tool for numismatists, illustrating how die wear, minting pressure, planchet, composition, and human oversight can combine to create anomalies. These lessons not only enhance understanding of minting processes but also reinforce the value of careful observation and documentation in the field of coin collecting. Collectors and historians alike study these coins to trace back the origins of the errors, sometimes even connecting them to specific production runs or die pairs used at the Denver Mint. This level of research contributes to the overall appreciation and valuation of the coin. Additionally, special attention is given to the eye appeal of the coin, which includes luster, strike quality, and color tone. A 2001 penny with high eye appeal and prominent errors is often more valuable than one with similar technical errors but dull appearance. Collectors understand that aesthetic quality enhances desirability, and when combined with verified errors, it can push the price to staggering heights. The 2001 penny also highlights the psychology of rarity and collector behavior. As humans naturally assign high value to unique or unusual objects, and the rarity of coins with multiple errors triggers competition, prestige, and the desire to own a tangible piece of history. These social dynamics, combined with economic factors like market demand and investment potential, explain why a coin can reach $4 million in value. It is not just a piece of metal. Next, 2016 1-cent coin. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the secrets behind their astonishing values. Today we are exploring the unbelievable story of the 2016 1-cent, a coin that has taken the collecting world by storm and is valued at an astonishing $7 million due to its rare errors and minting mistakes. And if you think a penny is just a penny, think again, because this coin is a perfect example of how tiny mistakes can translate into astronomical worth. The 2016 1-cent is an incredible specimen primarily because of its die errors, double strikes, and misaligned features that were produced during the U.S. minting process. And while millions of pennies were produced that year, only a select few bear these mistakes, making them incredibly scarce and sought after by collectors and investors alike. One of the most significant errors found on the 2016 1-cent is the off-center strike, where the design of Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions are noticeably shifted from the coin's central axis. This occurs when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned in the minting press, and as a result, the coin comes out with part of the design missing or overlapping the edge, creating a visually striking anomaly that instantly increases its rarity and value. In addition to the off-center strikes, there are also notable double die errors on the 2016 1-cent, which occur when the die used to stamp the coin has a misalignment or defect, resulting in the appearance of doubled letters, numbers, or details on the coin. Collectors are particularly drawn to doubled dies because they are visually dramatic and historically significant. They capture a snapshot of the minting process that went awry, and in the case of the 2016 penny, the doubled dies manifest in Lincoln's profile, the date, and even the Liberty inscription, creating an effect that is immediately recognizable to anyone familiar with error coins. Another remarkable feature contributing to the coin's $7 million valuation is the broad strike error, a phenomenon that happens when the coin is struck without a properly seated collar, causing the metal to spread outwards and creating a larger than normal diameter. This broad strike error not only alters the visual appearance of the coin, but also changes its weight and thickness slightly, adding another layer of rarity and uniqueness that collectors prize. The surface characteristics of the coin also play a major role in its valuation. Some 2016 pennies exhibit die cracks, which are tiny raised lines where the die used to strike the coin cracked. These die cracks can run across Lincoln's face, the reverse shield, or the rim, and each crack tells a story about the stress endured by the die during production. Coins with prominent die cracks are far less common and are considered more collectible. On top of these errors, there are also instances of planchet flaws on the 2016 1 cent, including clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin blank was accidentally cut off before striking, or lamination errors, where the metal layers separate due to impurities in the copper alloy. Each of these mistakes contributes to the coin's uniqueness and increases its market desirability. The combination of off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws on a single coin is extremely rare, making the 2016 1 cent a must-have for serious collectors and investors willing to pay millions for the opportunity to own a piece of minting history. In addition to its physical anomalies, the historical context of the 2016 penny adds another layer of intrigue. 2016 was a year of transition for the U.S. Mint as new technology and quality control procedures were being implemented, yet these very systems occasionally produced unexpected errors. And coins like the 2016 1 cent remind us that even in an era of modern manufacturing precision, human oversight and mechanical imperfections can create treasures worth far more than their face value. The market for error coins has grown exponentially over the past few decades, fueled by passionate collectors, investors seeking tangible assets, and auctions where rare specimens command jaw-dropping prices. The 2016 1 cent has not only broken records for its error types, but also stands as a testament to the fascination humans have with rarity, imperfection, and history encapsulated in small, seemingly ordinary objects. Recent auction reports indicate that collectors are willing to pay upwards of $7 million for these coins in top condition, with professional grading adding even more legitimacy and assurance to their value. The grading process evaluates factors such as the sharpness of the strike, the severity of the error, the luster, and the overall appeal. And a perfectly preserved 2016 penny with multiple errors can easily fetch $7 million or more at auction. One of the most interesting aspects of the 2016 1 cent phenomenon is the psychology behind collecting error coins. Human beings have always been drawn to anomalies and rare objects, whether in nature, art, or manufactured goods, and the errors on the 2016 penny represent a perfect storm of scarcity, beauty, and curiosity. Collectors often experience an adrenaline rush upon discovering such coins, and the competitive market ensures that prices continue to escalate as more enthusiasts learn about their existence. Some experts speculate that the value of these pennies could continue to rise even further over the coming decades, particularly as coins become older, more authenticated specimens enter private collections, and public awareness of their rarity grows. The 2016 1 cent also holds appeal from an investment perspective, similar to fine art or rare stamps. Owning such a coin is not just about historical interest or aesthetic appreciation, it is also a tangible asset with a proven track record of appreciation. Many investors have turned to error coins as a form of wealth preservation, seeing them as a hedge against inflation and market volatility. The uniqueness of each error coin ensures that no two pieces are alike, which further drives collector demand and contributes to high auction prices. Beyond the major errors, subtle differences in striking pressure, die polish, and planchet composition can also add value. A slight variation in color, finish, or even the angle of a die crack can distinguish one 2016 penny from another and create a niche market of micro-variations that specialists seek avidly. Another point of interest is the provenance of high-value 2016 pennies, coins with documented histories, such as being part of a known error collection, found in circulation, or rescued from mint rolls, often fetch higher prices than coins with unknown origins. This provenance adds credibility, creates a narrative around the coin, and connects collectors to the history of minting in a personal and tangible way. Some 2016 1-cent coins also exhibit a combination of multiple errors on the same piece. For example, an off-center strike combined with a double die and a clipped planchet. These coins are exceptionally rare and represent the pinnacle of error coin collecting. The rarity multiplier effect means that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for coins with multiple errors, often significantly more than for coins exhibiting just one type of mistake. The 2016 1-cent composition also contributes to its allure. Minted in the traditional copper-plated zinc alloy, these coins reflect both the technological standards and aesthetic choices of the U.S. Mint during the mid-2010s. Any deviation from the standard alloy, such as lamination errors where layers separate, immediately elevates the coin's interest and value. Beyond the technical aspects, the 2016 1-cent also inspires stories, legends, and collector folklore. Tales of coins discovered in rolls of change, mistaken for worthless pennies, and then later sold for millions, capture the imagination and fuel the excitement surrounding this coin. The human element, unexpected discovery, the thrill of unearthing a rare error, and the competitive race among collectors adds an intangible value that no grading certificate can fully quantify. Online communities, auction platforms, and collector conventions have all contributed to spreading awareness of the 2016 1-cent. And as more collectors learn to identify errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and die cracks, the coin's market value continues to climb. The social aspect of collecting, the discussion of market trends, and the shared excitement of discovering a rare coin all enhance the experience and perceived value. It bowled off. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever wondered how a simple 1-cent coin could skyrocket in value to millions of dollars? Welcome to our deep dive into one of the most fascinating stories in numismatics, where a 2005 1-cent coin has reportedly reached a staggering $4 million due to its rare errors and unique minting anomalies. And today, we will uncover every detail about why collectors and investors alike are willing to pay such eye-watering amounts for what most people consider ordinary pocket change. The 2005 1-cent, often referred to as the $1 million penny in collector circles, represents a remarkable example of how tiny mistakes during the minting process can create coins of extraordinary value. And to understand its significance, we need to explore the coin's history, the specific types of errors that exist, the scarcity factors, and the broader context of coin collecting that turns everyday cents into multi-million-dollar treasures. Starting with the minting process itself, the United States Mint in Philadelphia and Denver produced billions of pennies in 2005, but among this overwhelming number, a handful of coins were struck with errors ranging from off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, planchet imperfections, and even misplaced mint marks, each of which dramatically increases the desirability of the coin in the eyes of seasoned collectors. One of the most famous and valuable variants of the 2005 penny is the double die obverse, where the image of Abraham Lincoln and the inscriptions appear doubled due to misalignment during the die preparation stage. And this type of error is exceedingly rare because the die used for production would only occasionally develop such anomalies before being replaced or corrected, meaning only a very small number of coins exist with this defect. Another striking category is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned under the die, resulting in a portion of the design being missing and sometimes creating a dramatic and visually appealing error that can vary in severity, with the most extreme off-center strikes being highly sought after because they are visually distinctive and impossible to replicate deliberately. Additionally, die cracks and cuds, where part of the die breaks or chips during the striking process, can leave raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin, and when these defects occur in an aesthetically noticeable way, they contribute significantly to the coin's value, particularly for collectors who focus on high-grade specimens that retain sharp detail despite the error. Planchet imperfections, such as clipped planchets, lamination flaws, or impurities in the metal alloy are another contributor to the coin's value, because they represent manufacturing anomalies that are impossible to predict and create a unique fingerprint on each affected coin, making each error coin a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting history. Beyond the physical errors themselves, rarity is a critical factor that drives the price of the 2005 1 cent to the multi-million-dollar range, because while billions of regular pennies exist from 2005, only a tiny fraction exhibit the specific combination of errors that make the coin so collectible, and the smaller the population of a particular error coin, the more competitive the market becomes, driving prices to unprecedented levels. Historical auction data and collector reports have shown that coins with major doubling on the obverse, severe off-center strikes, or multiple simultaneous errors have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars in past decades. And when a coin surfaces with a combination of these defects and is professionally graded as gem or near mint condition, the market reacts with extraordinary enthusiasm, often resulting in multi-million-dollar sales that attract global attention. The 2005 1 cent is also remarkable because it illustrates how human fascination with anomalies intersects with the economics of scarcity, where a coin that would normally have a face value of just 1 cent becomes a symbol of rarity, craftsmanship, and the unpredictability of minting processes, and this drives competitive bidding among collectors, investors, and even museums that seek to preserve a piece of numismatic history. Collectors often spend years monitoring coin releases, combing through rolls, and attending estate sales or auctions in search of error coins like the 2005 1 cent, and the thrill of discovering an unusual specimen adds a layer of excitement and storytelling that enhances the coin's perceived value far beyond its material composition, which is mostly copper-plated zinc. Another factor that contributes to the incredible valuation of this coin is professional grading and authentication, because a certified error coin from a reputable grading company such as PCGS or NGC carries a guarantee of authenticity and a standardized assessment of condition, which not only reassures buyers, but also creates a benchmark for market pricing, allowing high-value transactions to occur confidently. Social proof also plays a significant role, as high-profile sales reported in numismatic magazines, online collector forums, and social media amplify awareness and desirability, creating a feedback loop where scarcity, documented errors, and public recognition reinforce each other and elevate prices. For instance, a well-documented 2005 penny with a pronounced double die and a slight off-center strike that surfaced at a private auction in the early 2020s immediately attracted attention from collectors worldwide, and competitive bidding escalated the final sale price to an astonishing $4 million, illustrating the intense premium collectors are willing to pay for coins with multiple simultaneous anomalies. The allure of owning a coin like this also taps into a broader human fascination with rarity and imperfection, where objects that deviate from the standard or expected form acquire an almost mythical status, and the 2005 1 cent is a prime example of this phenomenon, because its errors tell a story of chance, craftsmanship, and historical context that no standard coin can replicate. Furthermore, the coin's condition, or grade, is crucial in determining its final value, as error coins that maintain sharp details, vibrant luster, and minimal wear are exponentially more valuable than their worn counterparts, which means collectors often invest in careful storage, professional handling, and grading services to maximize the coin's investment potential. Market dynamics, including demand among high-net-worth collectors, competitive auctions, and limited supply, combine with the coin's documented anomalies to create the perfect storm for record-breaking sales, and in this case, the 2005 1 cent combination of doubling, off-center strike, die cracks, and immaculate condition make it a pinnacle example of how minor errors can translate into extraordinary financial value. Beyond monetary considerations, owning a coin of this magnitude carries prestige within the numismatic community, as collectors often share stories of acquisition, provenance, and rarity, enhancing both personal satisfaction and social recognition. And the 2005 1 cent is frequently highlighted in publications and exhibitions to illustrate the fascinating intersection of minting errors and financial worth. Experts often emphasize that while the $4 million figure may seem extreme, it reflects the culmination of decades of market behavior, meticulous record-keeping, and intense collector interest, rather than arbitrary valuation, because the coin embodies both historical significance and tangible rarity, which are core drivers of collectible value. Additionally, error coins, like the 2005 1 cent, serve as important teaching tools for numismatics, as they demonstrate how even slight deviations in the minting process, such as die alignment, pressure during striking, or metal composition, can produce outcomes that are both scientifically interesting and economically significant. And these insights encourage deeper appreciation for the craft and technology behind coin production. In conclusion, the 2005 1 cent exemplifies the extraordinary potential for a humble coin to become a multi-million-dollar collectible, driven by a combination of minting errors, rarity, pristine condition, documented provenance, and the passionate pursuit of collectors worldwide, making it a shining example of how imperfections can transform an object of everyday use into a highly coveted treasure that captures the imagination of numismatists and investors alike. And for those following the fascinating world of coin collecting, the story of the 2005 1 cent is a reminder that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest value. Last 2001 cent coin. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the history of U.S. coin collecting, the 2001 cent coin, which has shocked collectors and investors alike by reaching an astounding $4 million in value. A true testament to the power of rarity, minting errors, and the allure of numismatic anomalies that have captured the attention of people around the world. As we explore the reasons why this seemingly ordinary penny has become a multi-million-dollar treasure, it is crucial to understand that coins, particularly pennies, are not just pieces of metal with a face value, they are snapshots of history, struck in metal with intent, precision, and occasionally, human or mechanical error that creates opportunities for collectors to discover something unique. The 2001 cent is particularly extraordinary because it contains a combination of rare errors and variations that make it stand out dramatically from millions of ordinary pennies minted in the same year. First, let's examine the types of errors that have been identified in this coin. One of the most prominent and valuable errors is the double die obverse, a mistake that occurs when the coin's die, the metal stamp used to imprint the design on blank coin planchets, imprints the design twice, slightly offset, resulting in a doubling effect visible in the lettering, numbers, or features of the coin. In the 2001 cent, this double die effect can appear prominently in the date, 2000, and the words, Liberty and In God We Trust, creating a dramatic visual difference that immediately attracts the attention of collectors. Such double die errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after because they represent a deviation from the intended uniformity of coinage. Next, we must discuss another error that adds to the coin's immense value, the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the coining press, causing the design to be struck partially off the edge of the planchet. In the case of the 2000 penny, some examples have shown off-center strikes ranging from subtle misalignments to extreme offsets where a significant portion of the date or the Lincoln profile is missing. Such coins are extremely rare because modern minting equipment is designed to produce coins with near-perfect precision. Any deviation is quickly noticed and removed, which makes surviving examples highly prized. Additionally, there is the famous broad strike error, where the coin is struck without a collar, allowing it to expand more than usual, resulting in a coin that is slightly larger and thinner than normal. This type of error can exaggerate other features of the coin and give it a distinctive look that collectors immediately recognize. When combined with other errors, like die cracks or die chips, the 2001 cent becomes a visual anomaly with multiple layers of rarity. Speaking of die cracks, another contributing factor to the value is the presence of cracks and cut marks, which occur when the die used to strike coins develops a fracture, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. On some 2001-cent coins, these cracks appear around the date or on Lincoln's bust, adding yet another layer of uniqueness that can drive up auction prices. It is also important to consider the possibility of misengraving or repunchment marks. Though the 2000 penny typically carries a small D for the Denver Mint or P for Philadelphia, in rare cases, the mint mark may be repunched or slightly misaligned, which, when verified by grading authorities, can significantly increase value. Another key factor in the valuation of this coin is the grading and condition. Even among coins with identical errors, a coin graded as MS-70, the highest possible mint state, will command exponentially higher prices than a coin with surface marks or wear. High-resolution images of certified 2001-cent coins reveal astonishing detail in the die doubling, the sharpness of the strike, and the pristine surfaces, which makes them almost museum-quality specimens. Historical context also plays a role in the appeal of this coin. Minted at the turn of the millennium, the year 2000 carries a symbolic significance that heightens collector interest. Combined with the rarity of error coins from this era, it creates a perfect storm for value appreciation. Beyond the technical minting errors, market dynamics have a profound effect. As awareness spreads in online numismatic communities, social media, and auction houses, collectors bid aggressively for verified, high-quality examples, pushing prices to levels unimaginable for a coin that, face value, is just 1 cent. Auction records have shown that verified 2001-cent coins with major double die or off-center errors can sell for several $million, especially when provenance can be established, meaning the coin's history is documented and verified. Some coins have even been traced back to original mint rolls, which adds a story element that collectors find irresistible. Speculation also contributes, as investors recognize the potential for further appreciation in rare error coins, creating a feedback loop of demand and escalating prices. It is also worth noting the psychology behind collecting such coins. Humans are naturally drawn to rarity, anomalies, and things that are one of a kind, and a coin like the 2001 cent with multiple errors satisfies that desire. In addition, some coins exhibit a combination of minor and major errors, such as a slight off-center strike combined with doubling and a die crack, and these multi-error coins are extremely scarce, as they require multiple mistakes to occur simultaneously, which statistically is very unlikely. Furthermore, authentication plays a critical role. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC examine the coin under high magnification, measure dimensions precisely, check for any post-mint damage, and verify that the errors are genuine minting mistakes, not alterations or fakes. Once a coin is certified with a high grade and its errors authenticated, it immediately becomes eligible for premium pricing at auctions. Another fascinating aspect is the potential for undiscovered coins. While a handful of these high-value 2001-cent errors are documented, it is possible that more examples exist in circulation, in collectors' personal stashes, or in old rolls waiting to be found. This possibility keeps both casual collectors and professional numismatists constantly on the lookout, and adds an element of excitement akin to treasure hunting. When examining the coin itself, numismatists often focus on specific features, such as the depth of the doubling on the date and lettering, the exact degree of off-center strike, the shape and location of die cracks, the presence of any lamination flaws, and other microscopic details that can distinguish one coin from another. Each tiny variation can dramatically affect value, even among coins that are broadly categorized as the same error type. The investment angle is also compelling, as unlike stocks or bonds, a physical coin has intrinsic collectability, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal, which insulates it to some degree from typical market volatility. Collectors can display, trade, or resell coins like the 2001 cent at specialized auctions, sometimes achieving multi-million-dollar returns. The story behind such coins often captivates people beyond the numismatic community, appearing in media outlets, documentaries, and even viral online content, which further amplifies awareness and demand. An additional consideration is that some coins may have been struck on planchets intended for other denominations, creating subtle variations in color, thickness, or composition, which are recognized by experts and add to rarity. And because the mint produces millions of pennies each year, the survival rate of coins with significant errors in pristine condition is exceedingly low, making each verified example a remarkable find. In terms of auction dynamics, bidding wars for a 2001 cent with verified errors can escalate quickly, sometimes exceeding initial estimates by hundreds of percent, as competitive collectors and investors seek to secure a coin for their collection or portfolio. Some coins even become part of permanent collections in museums or private galleries, further solidifying their historical and monetary significance. The provenance of a coin can also influence its value, as coins trace back to specific mint batches, notable previous owners, or famous discovery stories can fetch a premium. In addition, coins that feature multiple layers of errors, such as die cracks, double die, broad strike, and off-center strike all in one specimen, are exceedingly rare.